Good morning, everyone. Hare Krishna. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda. All glories to the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And all glories to the members of the Prabhupada Disciples Association. These classes that we're conducting, Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu has described them as readings and discussions. That's very important for everyone to understand. Why? Because our main focus is to hear from Śrīla Prabhupada in his writings, which are non-different than him. This is something that is a transcendental experience for all of us. Because Prabhupada intelligently focused on these books as a means to provide us with his Vani incarnation. This is a yoga science. And the science is based on sound, chanting Hare Krishna, listening to the holy names, hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from the lips, from the mouth of the pure devotee. And Śrīla Prabhupada manifested himself on this planet in 1896. And somehow or other, through the blessings of the Supreme Lord, he appeared in America in 1965, taking the instructions of his spiritual master, Śrīla Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami, crossing over the ocean with 200 sets of Bhagavatams. He had prepared them while he was living at the Radha Damodar temple in Vrindavan, India. Extraordinary story for all of us to learn about, both the new devotees that are taking up this mission with us, and for all of us who have been in this mission for over 50 years, to remember this great story of Krishna's mercy upon the fallen souls. Without Krishna consciousness, one's life is empty. Zero. It adds up to zero. It's like Prabhupada uses the example of money. He says you can have all kinds of zeros and it adds up to nothing. But if you put Krishna at the front of it, it's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars. 10 zeros with no Krishna is worth nothing. Just saw an interesting video my son showed me this morning. We're in Winnipeg, Canada right now. We've been on the road for 2,000 kilometers. And we're heading on a journey to Calgary, back to his house. And he showed me a video of Michael Douglas, the famous actor from Hollywood. Now, when you see his picture, he looks quite old, I must say. Because he's approaching the end of his life, he's trying to find some meaning in it. Does he find any meaning? He goes, I hope today you read a good book. I hope today you listened to a good song. I hope today you had a smile on your face. Peace. Completely insane. He's like waiting to die. Reminds me of a guru, so-called in ISKCON, that gives his motivational speeches. Oh, have a great day. I hope you're smiling and have a better day tomorrow. Thank you very much. This is insanity. The world we live in is completely insane. There is no reality here outside of Krishna consciousness. And we're very blessed, everyone, Vijaya Pandit in Italy and all of you, to be a part of this, and especially of this group. Think about it very carefully before we carry on. How many people are speaking the truth of the matter in terms of Prabhupada's position as the pure devotee spiritual master without confusion? How many? This movement that we have going is the most important movement on this planet because we're preserving the position of Śrīla Prabhupada as the means by which each and every one of us can go back to Godhead without a doubt. So please meditate on this and work in your group to expand this effort moving forward, because we will not stop. And with that in mind, we'll move forward. We're going to go back to the diaries of Śrīla Prabhupada from 1966 in New York City. And today we're going to look at the notice that Prabhupada put up on the wall in the center at 26th 2nd Avenue. Just look at that beautiful handwriting. This is a notice to all devotees because he was trying to give people that were living in New York at the time some direction. They're complete animals. This guy, these guys like Keith Ham and his cohorts, they were some of the most degraded people that you could meet, as we know. But here Prabhupada's giving direction. Notice, all initiated devotees must attend morning and evening classes. Must not be addicted to any kind of intoxicants, including coffee, tea, and cigarettes. They are forbidden to have illicit sex connections, must be strictly vegetarian, should not extensively mix with non-devotees, should not eat foodstuff cooked by non-devotees, should not waste time in idle talks, nor engage himself in frivolous sports. Should always chant and sing the Lord's holy names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thank you. International Society for Krishna Consciousness, 26 2nd Avenue, New York, November 25th, 1966. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Acharya. And did I send some more photos, Venkat? I just wanted to show you here. This was Prabhupada's ledger for Paragon Bookshops, 25 sets. And he goes over all the details. And he had given 25 sets to them for distribution. And then on the next page, you can see account of books, stocks at Butler, 200 cents. So Prabhupada started like that and kept a close track of all the books that he was selling. See, by March 9th, 66, he was down to 130 cents. So he had sold 70 cents as a way to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya and continue to develop the Sankirtan process during his first days here in New York City. Amazing. So like that, we have to follow in the footsteps of Śrīla Prabhupāda and also develop book distribution in our own particular areas. And if you need any assistance, please be in touch with us and we'll see if we can help you here at the Prabhupada Disciples Association. So thank you very much. We're going to move forward with the Bhajan Jaya Radha Madhava, chanted by His Divine Grace. And after that, we'll have the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam reading from the original 62 version with His Grace, the amazing Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu. The class yesterday was outstanding, and today I'm so looking forward to hear him speak. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. O my Lord, Sri Krishna, the Son of Vasudeva, the all-pervading personality of Godhead, I do offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Narayanam namaskritya, Narayanam namaskritya, Naram cheva narottamam, Naram cheva narottamam, Devim saraswatim vyasam, Devim saraswatim vyasam, Tato jayam mudirayet, Tato jayam mudirayet. One should utter the means of conquest, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, after offering respectful obeisances, 1, to the personality of Godhead Narayana, 2, to the Nara-Narayana Rishi, who is the supermost human being, 3, to the Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, then 4, to Śrīla Vyasadeva, the author. So welcome everyone to this reading and discussion on Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Before the beginning of every one of these reading and sessions, we read a few verses about the benefits of hearing Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We will be reading from Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 16, a few more verses. Shushrushoho Shraddhadanasya Vasudeva Kataruchihi Syanmahatsevaya Vipra Punyatirthanishevanat. O the twice-born sages, by serving those devotees who are completely freed from all ranges of vice, a standard of great service is done. And as the result of such great service, affinity in the messages of Vasudeva is made possible. Text 17. Srinvatam svakata Krishnaham punya shravana kirtanah hridyantastar hyabadrani vidhunoti suritsatam. Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who is also the Paramatma in everyone's heart and the benefactor of the truthful devotee, does cleanse the desire for material enjoyment in the heart of the devotee who has developed the urge for hearing his, Krishna's messages, which are themselves virtuous when properly heard and chanted. Text 18. Nastaprayeshu babadrishu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naistiki. By regular attendance in the Bhagavatam class or rendering service unto the pure devotees, all that is inauspicious in the heart of a candidate becomes destroyed almost to nil, and thus loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, comes into being, an irrevocable fact. Text 19. Tadarajastamo bhavaham kamalobhadayaschaye chetayetera naviddam stitam sattve prasidati. As soon as irrevocable loving service is fixed up in one's heart, at that time the effects of the nature's mode of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankerings, do disappear from one's heart, and he becomes fixed up in the mode of goodness, which makes him completely happy. Text 20. Devam prasanna manasu bhagavad bhakti yogataha bhagavat tattva vijnanam mukta sangasya jayate. Thus, when one is positively fixed up in the mode of unalloyed goodness, the enlivened-minded man, affected by contact of devotional service of the Lord, can positively know scientific knowledge of the personality of Godhead in the stage of liberation from all material association. We will be reading today from Canto 1, Chapter 3, text number 25 and 26. Text number 25. Atasu yuga sandhyam dasyu prayeshu rajasu janita vishnu yashashu namna kalki jagatpatihi. Ata, thereafter, aso, the same Lord, yuga sandhyam, at the period of conjunction of the yugas, dasyu, plunderers, prayeshu, almost all, rajashu, the governing personalities, janita, will take his birth, Vishnu, of the name, yashashu, of the surname, namna, in the name of, Kalki, the incarnation of the Lord, Jagatpatihi, the Lord of the creation. Translation. Thereafter, at the conjunction of two yugas, the Lord of the creation will take his birth as Kalki incarnation, becoming the son of Vishnu Joshi, when the rulers of the earth shall convert into almost to the rank of the plunderers. Purport by Śrīla Prabhupāda. Here is another foretelling of the advent of Lord Kalki, the incarnation of Godhead. He is to appear at the conjunction of the two yugas, namely by the end of Kali Yuga and by the beginning of Satya Yuga. The cycle of the four yugas, namely Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kalki, change in rotation like the calendar months. The present Kali Yuga is to stand for 432,000 years, out of which we have passed only 5,000 of years after the battle of Kurukshetra and by the end of the regime of King Parikshit. So there are 427,000 years balance yet to be finished. Therefore, at the end of further 4 lakhs of years, the incarnation of Kalki will take place, and that is also foretold in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. His father's name, Vishnu Joshi, a learned Brahmin, and the village Shambhal are also mentioned. As above mentioned, all these foretellings will prove to be factual in chronological order. That is the authority of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Text number 26. Avatara hiya sankyeya arehe sattvanidher dvija yata vidasina kulyaha sarasaha sahasrashaha. Avatara, incarnations, he, certainly, asankyeya, innumerable, arehe, of Hari, the Lord, Sattvanider, of the ocean of goodness, Dvija, the Brahmins, Yata, as it is, Abhidashinaha, inexhaustible, Kulyaha, rivulets, Sarasaha, of water, Syuhu are, Sahasrasaha, thousands of. Translation. O Brahmins, the incarnations of the Lord are innumerable, as much as there are innumerable rivulets coming out of the inexhaustible sources of water. Purport. The incarnations of the personality of Godhead, as they are mentioned herein before, are not complete lists. They are only a partial view of all the incarnations. There are many others, such as Sri Ayagriva, Hari, Vahamsa, Prishnigarbha, Vibhu, Satyasena, Vaikunta, Sarvabhauma, Vishvakshena, Dharmasetu, Sudhama, Yogeshvara, Briyadbanu, etc. in the bygone ages. Sri Prahlad Maharaja said in his prayer, "My Lord, you manifest as many incarnations as there are species of life, namely the aquatic, the vegetables, the reptiles, the birds, the beasts, the men, the demigods, etc., just for the maintenance of the faithful and for the annihilation of the unfaithful. You advent yourself as such in accordance with the necessity of the different yugas. In the Kali Yuga, you have incarnation garbed as the devotee. This incarnation of the Lord garbed in the Kali Yuga is meant to indicate Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. There are many other places, both in the Bhagavat and other scriptures, in which the incarnation of the Lord as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is explicitly mentioned. In the Brahma Samhita also, it is said indirectly that although there are many incarnations of the Lord as Rama, Nrisimha, Varaha, Matsya, Kurma, and many others, the Lord himself sometimes incarnates in person. Lord Krishna and Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are not therefore incarnations, but he is the original source of all other incarnations. This will be explained clearly in the next shloka. So the Lord is the inexhaustible source for innumerable incarnations, which are not always mentioned, but such incarnations are distinguished by specific extraordinary performances, which are impossible to be done by any living being. That is the general test to identify an incarnation of the Lord directly and indirectly empowered. The incarnations mentioned above are almost plenary portions, such as the Kumaras are empowered with transcendental knowledge. Sri Narada is empowered with devotional service. Maharaj Prithu was empowered incarnation with executive function. The Matsya incarnations is directly plenary portion. And similarly, the innumerable incarnations of the Lord are manifested all over the universes, constantly without any stop, as there is constant flow of water from the waterfalls. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuran Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaham. I offer my respectful obeisances unto my spiritual master. We all offer our respectful obeisances unto our spiritual master, Śrīla Prabhupāda, who has opened our eyes from the darkness of ignorance with the torchlight of transcendental knowledge. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Bhagavad Vandanam Khadyam Guru Vandana Purvakam Kshiram Sharkara Yuktam Kadatihi Visheshataham Bhakti Siddhanta Shishyaya Bhaktivedanta Namine Prasannaya Prashantaya Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Adadana Strinam Danter Idam Yachi Punaha Punaha Srimad Rupa Padam Bhoja Dulisyam Janma Janmani Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindam Sri Rup Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. We see in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, there are various predictions of future events. When the British came to India, they commissioned several of their Christian preachers to learn Sanskrit. So they learned Sanskrit and they translated such books as the Vishnu Purana and other Puranas and other Vedic texts. Also, many German scholars did the same. Unfortunately for these so-called scholars, they did not quite understand the nature of the literature they were dealing with. We see here in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam how Lord Buddha was predicted. We had an extensive purport last week describing the appearance of Lord Buddha and the circumstances under which he appeared. Unfortunately, some people, they try to date the compilation of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam after the appearance of Lord Buddha, because they don't believe that anyone can predict the appearance of an avatar. But the followers of Vedic wisdom, of Sanatana Dharma, know very well that Vedavyas is a trikalagnya, a knower of past, present, and future. He's quite competent to predict the appearance of Lord Buddha. And here in this text, he's predicting the appearance of Lord Kalki. Very important prediction. Now, this will not take place for another 427,000 years or so. It also predicts he will appear in a village called Shambhala, that he is going to come on a white horse and practically annihilate all the miscreants. Very important point. When he is coming, what is his name, where he will appear, and what he will do. Now, many people, when they look at predictions like this, out of frustration, they say, oh, this is all mythology. No, it is not mythology, it is factology. We see in the history of India, there have been many great sages and very learned scientists, just as Aryabhatiya, who calculated that the beginning of Kali Yuga appeared 3,102 years before his birth date, basically placing the beginning of Kali Yuga approximately 5,000 years ago. So the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam has a tremendous amount of knowledge and description of various events, various great personalities, and so much knowledge. Why do these personalities appear? We've often discussed these very important verses from the Bhagavad Gita, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuttanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyam paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samstapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. In the chapter 4 of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna very nicely explained why does he come? Because naturally, if there's an incarnation, people will want to know, well, what is the purpose? What is the reason for this incarnation? Why does Krishna come? Very important point. Want us to correctly understand the very nature of the incarnations of Krishna and the nature of Krishna himself. Prabhupada explains in chapter 4, text number 7, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya, in the purport, the word Srijami is significant herein. Srijami cannot be used in the sense of creation, because according to the previous verse, there is no creation of the Lord's form or body, since all of the forms are eternally existent. Therefore, Srijami means that the Lord manifests himself as he is. Although the Lord appears on schedule, namely at the end of Dwapara Yuga, of the 28th millennium of the 8th Manu in one day of Brahma, still he has no obligation to adhere to such rules and regulations because he is completely free to act as in many ways at his will. He therefore appears by his own will whenever there is a predominance of religiosity and a disappearance of true religion. Principles of religion are laid down in the Vedas, and any discrepancy in the matter of properly executing the rules of the Vedas makes one irreligious. In the Bhagavatam, it is stated that such principles are the laws of the Lord. Only the Lord can manufacture a system of religion. The Vedas are also accepted as originally spoken by the Lord himself to Brahma from within his heart. Therefore, the principles of Dharma or religion are the direct orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dharmam tu sakshat bhagavat pranitam. These principles are clearly indicated throughout the Bhagavad Gita. So it's quite significant when Śrīla Prabhupāda explains the reason for the appearance of the Lord, why he comes. First of all, he's not forced to come by anyone, but he comes for two primary reasons. This is explained in the next text of Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya, chapter 4, text 8, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharmasam stapanartaya sambhavami yuge yuge. In order to deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to reestablish the principles of religion, I advent myself millennium after millennium. And Śrīla Prabhupāda explains nicely in the second paragraph in the purport, the avatar or incarnation of Godhead descends from the kingdom of God for material manifestation. And the particular form of the personality of Godhead who so descends is called an incarnation or avatar. Such incarnations are situated in the spiritual world, the kingdom of God. When they descend to the material creation, they assume the name avatar. In the last paragraph of this purport, Śrīla Prabhupāda explains, the Lord says that he incarnates himself in every millennium. This indicates that he incarnates also in the age of Kali. As stated in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the incarnation in the age of Kali is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who spread the worship of Krishna by the Sankirtana movement congregational chanting of the holy names, and spread Krishna consciousness throughout India. He predicted that this culture of Sankirtana would be broadcast all over the world from town to town and village to village. Lord Chaitanya, as the incarnation of Krishna, the personality of Godhead, is described secretly, but not directly in the confidential parts of the revealed scriptures, such as the Upanishads, Mahabharata, Bhagavatam, etc. The devotees of Lord Krishna are much attracted by the Sankirtan movement of Lord Chaitanya. This avatar of the Lord does not kill the miscreants, but delivers them by the causeless mercy of the Lord. So it is quite significant when we look at Śrīla Prabhupāda's teachings in various places, how he explains the whole concept of avatar. As I was saying, when the Europeans came to India, they totally bungled the understanding of Indians, totally bungled the understanding of what the authority of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Gita, because of their bias. There is a conversation in the Śrīla Prabhupada conversation book where Prabhupada was discussing with some disciples, why is it that European scholars taught that these stories in the Vedas are all mythology? Prabhupada, that is because they are biased in favor of their own religion or religious creed. If one is intelligent and not a fanatic, one can appreciate and understand the great value of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And these two texts here are very important. It shows, it predicts the appearance of Lord Buddha, who appeared approximately 600 years before Christ, and it explains the appearance, the future appearance of Lord Kalki. Now, those who are less intelligent, they invented this term, oh, this is all mythology. It's quite of India, not the great acharyas. Shankaracharya, Ramanuja, Vedanta Desika, Madhva, Vyasatirtha, Jayatirtha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vallabhacharya, Nimbarkacharya, Vishnu Swami, so many great acharyas. None of them have ever described the stories of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and the literatures of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as being mythology. It is not mythology, it is factology. We do know, for example, the appearance of Lord Buddha has been historically documented. Now, as an interesting footnote, there's a controversy in India with some people who claim that the appearance of Lord Buddha occurred in Nepal, in a place called Lumbini. But here in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, when it describes the appearance of Lord Buddha, it is explained very nicely that Lord Buddha, the son of Anjana, will appear in the province of Gaya. That is a place in Uttar Pradesh called Buddha Gaya. So there are very clear description in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam of the appearance of these incarnations. Because something appears to be in very remote times, it doesn't mean it's untrue. It is factual. Because the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the Bhagavatam has been raised. Now Krishna's abode, where to find the principles of religion? And the answer is given by Shukadeva Goswami in the pages of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We do know that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu attached great importance to Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Pramanamamalam is the topmost evidence, the topmost literature. Śrīla Prabhupāda every day started this practice of devotees reading Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in the morning, reading the verse, reading the word for word, reading the translation of the verse, reading the purport and discussion. Why so much detail? Because this is the science of God. Śrīla Prabhupada explains in the beginning of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam that by studying the first 9 cantos of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, one can become God realized. Now, we have seen in India how many people jump to the 10th canto, to the Rasa Leela, the most confidential of the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Why do they do that? Prabhupada explains in so many places, simply for profit. Profit, adoration, and distinction. This is forbidden in the words of Sanatana Goswami, that one should not jump and hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from persons who are not qualified. Avaishnava mukhodgiranam putam hari katamritam. The messages of Lord Hari are considered very, very nectarian, very, very special, utmost beneficial. Shravanam neva kartavyam, but one should not hear this message for those who are Avaishnavas. Shravanam neva kartavyam sarpochistam yatapayaha. Sarpa uchista means if you have milk that has been touched by the lips of a serpent, that milk is no longer beneficial. It can be very poisonous. Similarly, the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is most beneficial, most nectarian, most transcendental, is very, very sweet to hear, but it can have a very poisonous effect if it is heard from non-authorized persons, not coming in bona fide disciplic succession, non-Vaishnavas. Very important. This is a very important point. We have often discussed as part of these readings and discussions how Śrīla Prabhupāda did not want the messages of his Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam as well as his other books to be changed. He did not want his books to be perpetually changed and amended. No, he did not want that. Why? People may argue, well, they're just being edited for clarity, for this and that. But once the book were compiled, Prabhupada knew that everything was being done in a very fast pace during his manifested presence. The editing and the publishing of his books was done very quickly, in a very systematic manner. But when Prabhupada found out in 1977 that there had been subsequent editing from the original first editions, he was not pleased. And he categorically said on the 22nd of June 1977, they cannot change anything. Who was he referring to? They. They means the managers, the GBCs, the publishers, the editors, the translators, everybody involved in the publication of his books. He did not want them to constantly change things. That was not his desire. He further said the next printing again should be the original way. What is the original way? The first printed edition. Now I understand some people may argue, well, there's been some spelling mistakes, there's been some capitalization mistakes, this and that. Okay, some mistakes may be there, that is one thing, but they're not very frequent. But then when they come up, oh, we also have to correct the grammar, then the floodgates are open. The floodgates are open. That's how we ended up with this nonsensical translation in the Bhagavad Gita from he has seen the truth to they have seen the truth. Oh, who's they? Were they referring to themselves? Who were they referring to? Very important point. You cannot change the words of the Acharya. Prabhupada used to often refer to a principle of Arsha Prayoga, that even if the Acharya has made a grammatical mistake, a small mistake, it should be accepted as authority. There is one letter which Śrīla Prabhupada was discussing how some devotees had criticized early on how there were grammatical discrepancies in the first edition of the first canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam published in New Delhi. And Prabhupada says, well, for those who are criticizing, let them become big Vedic scholar like me, accepted all over the world, and then they can translate. And Prabhupada also quoted, Tejiyayam Nadoshaya, For those very powerful, there is no fault. So this is a very important point, because we keep coming back when we study the history of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. There are many foreigners who came to India. For example, there are some French scholars in the 1700s who published the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in French with very colorful illustrations, because the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is very attractive. It has so many wonderful topics about the creation, the various time periods of the creation, the various avatars, the pastimes of Krishna. There's so much depth in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. For those who are just curious onlookers, like the so-called Sanskrit scholars, it is very difficult to understand Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. As a matter of fact, in the Vedas, it is described, one cannot understand the Veda simply by academic knowledge. Nayatma pravachanena, namedaya, even though one is very intelligent materially. Just like there is a society called the Mensa Society, which is a gathering of exceptionally intelligent people, which is good. But the qualification to understand Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam has nothing to do with the level of one's material intelligence. Na bahuna shritena, somebody may say, well, so-and-so is a big Sanskrit scholar. He's a big Pandit. He studied the 4 Vedas. He can recite so many of the Vedas. No, that is also not a qualification. Na bahuna shritena. Naham atma pravachena labhya. One is a great speaker. He's a great, wonderful speaker, very fluent speaker in the Shastras. That is also not a qualification. Then how to understand? In the Canto Upanishad described when that Supreme Atma reveals himself to you. We have often discussed how the same principle is described in the Brahma Samhita. Vedeshu Durlabham, that to simply understand Krishna by the study of the Vedas is very difficult. Durlabham. Adurlabham Atma Bhakto, that if one becomes a confidential devotee, then it's easy. The next confidential. What did we read in the beginning? Before we begin the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam readings and discussion, we read a few of these verses. Nashtaprayeshu babadrishu nityam bhagavata sevaya. Bhagavatyuttama shloke bhaktir bhavati neshtaki. How to understand the message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. This is not an intellectual exercise based on somebody's intelligence or somebody's grammatical knowledge. It has nothing to do with one's learning of Sanskrit or not learning Sanskrit. Simply has to do with submissive hearing. As simple as that. Recently, there's been some controversies on the internet with certain individuals who claim that that Vaishnavas should go develop their rasas, their siddha deha, their swarup siddhi, their manjari sadhana, and that they can receive such special classes from some special devotees, either in Radhakud or Vrindavan. But this is not what was recommended by the Acharya Śrīla Prabhupāda. Nitya siddha Krishna prabha sadhya kabunoi. Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte Karayodai. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj describes how this original love of Krishna is there with everyone. And there's no need of artificial sadhana, sadhya kabunoi. Then how does one understand? How does one revive it? Shravanadi Shuddha Chitte. Shravan Adi means by the process of hearing, chanting, remembering. By the process of bhakti, as given by the authorized bona fide acharya. There's a lot of people pretending to be given bona fide bhakti. We have to learn to distinguish between bona fide followers and pretentious followers. There's a lot of charlatans out there. So many times we have referred in these readings to the purport of Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, text 42. I'm going to read part of it again. And people may say, well, why do you keep reading the same thing again? Because it is relevant every single day. It is a warning by Śrīla Prabhupada to the newcomer, to the neophyte, to the middle-class devotee, and to the advanced devotee, to every man, woman, and child. Extremely important. Śrīla Prabhupada says, one should therefore follow the path of Bhagavad Gita as it is expressed in the Gita itself, and beware of self-interested people after personal aggrandizement who deviate others from the actual path. Let me read that again. One should therefore follow the path of Bhagavad Gita as it expressed in the Gita itself, and beware of self-interested people after personal aggrandizement who deviate others from the actual path. The Lord is definitely the supreme person, and his activities are transcendental. One who understands this is a liberated person from the very beginning of his study of the Gita. Now, Śrīla Prabhupada was very careful in his preaching. Prabhupada knew when he went back to India in 1970 that many people would object to him initiating Mlechas and Yavanas and Westerners into Vaishnavas and Brahmanas. And when Prabhupada came back to India, many people came to criticize him. Most people appreciated, but there were a lot of critics. One time in Calcutta, Śrīla Prabhupada was in the presence of a very wealthy man who came there. He was one of the wealthiest tea merchants in India. And Giriraj Swami Brahmacharya at the time invited this person to meet Śrīla Prabhupada. So this life member brought two Vedic Brahmins from the Ramanuja Sampradaya to visit Śrīla Prabhupada. And very quickly, the conversation erupted in a big controversy, very animated controversy. And Prabhupada, who was very, very quick at defending his society and his disciples, started to quote numerous verses from Bhagavad Gita, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Their point is that Swami Bhaktivedanta is spoiling the Hindu Dharma. There's a lecture like that where Prabhupada criticized. In India, they say, Hindu Dharma Nashtaka, that Bhaktivedanta Swami is spoiling the Hindu Dharma by initiating all these women and children and Americans and Europeans, these Mlechas Yavanas, into Brahmins. And Prabhupada was very strong on this point, that anybody can become a bona fide Vaishnava by following the path of the Acharyas, of the bona fide Goswamis, the 6 Goswamis. Prabhupada gave so many quotes from Bhagavad Gita, from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, from the Vedas, but yet they would not accept. They would not accept. Then Prabhupada at one point pointed out to one devotee and said, these devotees are engaged 24 hours a day in service of Krishna, and you say they are not Vaishnavas? Of course, they had nothing to say. Prabhupada was like a lion defending the bona teaching or sampradaya. We have to follow in his footsteps. And those people seem to be full of Prabhupada, but yet they're to change his teachings, concoct bogus mantras in their kirtans. Do not listen to such person. Shravanam neva kartavyam, sarpochistam yatapaya. The warning has been given by Sanatan Goswami and Gopal Bhatta Goswami. Those people who disrespect the authority of the Acharya Śrīla Prabhupada, do not listen to them. They may have tilak, they may have shaven head, danda, dhoti, doesn't matter. If they disrespect Śrīla Prabhupada by changing his books, do not listen to them. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I can remember back in the early 70s, Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, when we first received our sets of Bhagavatams, Because Prabhu's, remember this, back in the early days of the mission, there were no books. I showed today these pamphlets, or the other day, these pamphlets that they were printing, and we only had the blue Macmillan Gita. That was it. That book itself, in Hamilton, one of our, we had young people coming around our house. There was a devotee, Vishnu Dutt, who now lives in Berlin. And he and a couple of other devotees went to the McMaster Library, Vinkat Bhatta, and they stole a blue Gita out of the library there. They were 14 years old. 14 years old. And they brought the Gita to our band house. We had a band. We were a bit old. We were older, 1920. And one of my friends started to read the Gita, the original blue Gita, and then from there he became informed of the Bhakti Yoga process. And then we moved forward, and we eventually opened a center. And when we were there, we had the Bhagavatams that we were reading, and all of us loved them so much, even for their flaws. Now, Vinkat Bhatta, Prabhu, I want you to bring up the verses from today. I just want to point out the verses because there is a flaw in the verse. Go down to the English. Go right to the English. Okay, to the next verse. Go to the next verse. I noticed it while we were reading it. I don't have the book in front of me. Geez, maybe I'm losing my mind. I saw a spelling error in the, maybe it was in the purport, but it still did not distract me from reading forward in the book. Maybe you can find it, Vinkat Bhatta. There was a spelling error in these particular sections.
Oh, it says reptiles instead of reptiles. Maybe that.
Yeah, there's a few. There's another one. So quite a few different spelling mistakes. So that quite naturally, thank you, by the way, for saving me. Quite naturally, Prabhupada wanted that his books would be corrected by us. That was his, idea, of course, so it could be accepted in the college environments and in the public forum. But he did not want the books changed. And this is what Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu was very eloquently presented to all of us, the truth. This is not fault-finding, Prabhus. This is strictly fact-finding. And we want you to understand that our goal, and he spoke with such intense passion this morning, our goal is to make sure people understand how important this Vani incarnation of Śrīla Prabhupada is for the continuation of the movement moving forward. Just briefly, I wanted to go to Madhya Lila 25, text 149. And we're going to read the verses only for time. Keep going, please. This is from the Bhagavatam. Could you read that first translation for me, Vinkat Bhatta?
Okay. So, completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated This Bhagavat Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Sri Vyasadeva, is sufficient in itself for God realization. As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, he becomes attached to the Supreme Lord.
Text 150, please.
Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam gives direct information of the mellow derived from service to Krishna. Therefore, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is above all other Vedic literatures.
Above all. Text 151, please.
The Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is the essence of all Vedic literatures, and it is considered the ripened fruit of the wish-fulfilling tree of Vedic knowledge. It has been sweetened by emanating from the mouth of Shukadeva Goswami. You who are thoughtful and who relish mellows should always try to taste this ripened fruit. O thoughtful devotees, as long as you are not absorbed in transcendental bliss, you should continue tasting the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, and when you are fully absorbed in bliss, you should go on tasting its mellows forever.
Text 152, please.
We never tire of hearing the transcendental pastimes of the personality of Godhead, who is glorified by hymns and prayers. Those who enjoy association with him relish hearing his pastimes at every moment.
Text 153.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advised Prakashananda Saraswati, study Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam very scrutinizingly. Then you will understand the actual meaning of Brahma Sutra.
This is the point that Yaśodā-nandana is telling us to be very thorough. And he's showing us how to be thorough in the study of Bhagavatam, especially in these readings and discussions. Please, the next verse, 154.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu continued, always discuss Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and constantly chant the holy name of Lord Krishna. In this way, you will be able to attain liberation very easily, and you'll be elevated to the enjoyment of love of Godhead.
This is the simple key to the purpose of human life. Purport, please.
Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that without studying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, one cannot understand the purport of Brahma Sutra, Vedanta Sutra, or the Upanishads. If one tries to understand Vedanta philosophy and the Upanishads without studying Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, he will be bewildered and, construing a different meaning, will gradually become an atheist or an impersonalist.
Text 155, please.
One who is thus transcendently situated at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments nor desires to have anything. He is equally disposed to every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me.
156, please.
Even a liberated soul merged in the impersonal Brahman effulgence is attracted to the pastimes of Krishna. He thus installs a deity and renders the Lord service.
And finally, 157.
Shukadeva Goswami addressed Parikshit Maharaj, my dear king, although I was fully situated in the transcendental position, I was nonetheless attracted to the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Therefore, I studied Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from my father.
Perfect. So we're very blessed, all of us, to be a part of these classes and to get this association and share it with others so that the truth will be protected moving into the future. And this way, Prabhupada's legacy will be properly maintained. Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, please.
Very interesting conversation that took place in Los Angeles, California on June 10th, 1976. Los Angeles, California, on June 10th, 1976. Śrīla Prabhupāda. No, what a fool they are. Try to expose these fools. But people have lost their reason, brain, everything. Even if we expose, they cannot understand, still they will stick. Bahulasva, what is their hope? Proper hope, last hope is to kill them. Makes loud sound with hand or instrument. Devotee, chopping off their proper Kalki avatar. No more teacher, saintly, with sword cut, finished, wholesale massacre. Being killed by God, they get salvation. Bahulasva, even for doing nothing? Bharadwaj, what kind of salvation? Proper salvation. They realize their spiritual identity. Apana karma bunjaya samana kahaye karma phala. Result of sinful activity is very, very strong. Prahlad Maharaj's prayer, where's that book? Hridayananda. Which one, Prabhupada? I think it is 10th chapter. Radhavalabha, the beginning of the 10th chapter is here. Prabhupada, yes, what is the first verse, 8th verse? Indriyani mana pranaha or yadi dasyase me kaman. Prabhupada, no, the Prahlad Maharaj prayer, see this contents. Hridayana, it starts in the 9th chapter, is prayers. So it's very, very nice that Prabhupada is describing the future appearance of Lord Kalki. Another conversation where the very interesting prediction there. This was a conversation with a British man in London, England on August 31st, 1973. August 31st, 1973. Guess. Now, did you say, I think you did tell me earlier, I think, that Krishna or somebody last came 500 years ago? Prabhupada, no, Lord Chaitanya. Guessed, pardon. Prabhupada, Lord Chaitanya, he's Krishna. He came as Krishna's devotee. Guessed, I see. And that was 500 years ago? Prabhupada, yes. Guessed, is it, do you expect him to come again? Prabhupada, yes, that is not very soon. Guessed, not very soon? Prabhupada, no, that is mentioned in the scriptures that at the end of this millennium, this yuga, Kalki avatar will come, Kalki avatar. Guessed. Now, because I'm only versed in the Western sense of the Old and New, in the New Testament, I understand that Christ is coming again at the end of this non-believing age in the world. Does that coincide with the Son of God that you understand, or is that a different sort of coming? Prabhupada, no. Hamsadutta, actually in the Bible, there is mentions there, the description that the Lord will come. He will ride on a white steed, on a white horse. At that time, he will kill all the non-devotee people. It's also in the Bible. Yes, yes. Prabhupada. So this Kalki, this incarnation of Krishna, which comes at the end of this age, he is described. He will come and ride on a white horse all over the world, and he will, Prabhupada, kill. Hamsadutta, kill, because at that time, the people will be so degraded, they will not be able to accept any instructions. So the only mercy he can bestow on them is just to finish the whole business. And by that killing in the presence of the Lord, they also achieve salvation. This is the mercy of God, absolute. Yes, yes. That in some way, to me at this moment, it seems to be an echo of the Old Testament prophetic promises of the end of the last age, and also the revelation in the New Testament. Can this be the Son of God revealing himself to the East and the West in different forms, but the same personality? I am presuming that. Hamsadutta, God is meant for everybody. Does not matter East or West, just like Krishna appeared in India, but we're not Indians. We're all Americans and Europeans. So just like the sun may appear over London or England, but it's not English sun, everyone's sun. Similarly, when God appears or God's representative appears, it's meant for everyone. Guest, yes, so forgive me if I talk across you, please, won't you? Prabhupada, that's all right, yes, guest. Guest, so now thinking on the terms that you have just quoted me, if I as a Jew, as a born Jew, seeing also with Christian conviction, that according to the Old and New Testament, this Christ will come again in a latter day. And as a Jew particularly, I was taught to believe that he is coming to save the Jews in their land when they're besieged. But I, of course, have always understood anyway that all nations will see him for their own particular reasons, but it will still be that one coming. And whilst he may come to, shall we say, the Jewish Jerusalem, he will obviously be going to everybody's place at the same time. I think if place and time exist, then that's the whole Hamsaduta. Well, the whole thing is that we can't speculate on God. We simply have to accept the authoritative statement of Scripture. Yes, Hamsuda, just like if we see, just like suppose President Nixon, it's announced, Mr. Nixon is coming July 7th, 1974 to London. So this is an authoritative statement, so we accept it. We don't speculate. Maybe he comes in August, or what's he going to do? So similarly, God is so great, he can make a program over thousands and thousands of years. For instance, this Bhagavatam, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, was compiled 5,000 years ago, and in the Bhagavatam, the appearance of Buddha is foretold, who appeared 2,400 years after that book was compiled. In Chaitanya, this is 5,000 years later. And Kalki avatar is yet to come 400,000 years from now. So God is so great that he can give his program for many thousands of years in advance. And we should simply accept it on that basis. We should not speculate any further. Yes, fair enough. Hamsaduta, whatever is given there in the Shastra, in the scripture, we should accept it as perfect. That's all. That is our position. We should accept the perfect. Yes, on questioning, Hamsaduta, yes, not without questioning. If there is some, but not with speculation or challenging. This goes on at one point, Śrīla Prabhupāda says, from practical life, just like world's principal religion, Christianity, Buddhism, Hinduism, and Mohammedanism also, the principle of not killing is there, every religion. Buddhism, they're completely for not killing. No circumstances, at any circumstances, killing is not allowed. Similarly, in Vedic religion, killing is not allowed. But at circumstances, it is allowed. Similarly, Christianity, they also say, thou shalt not kill. Mohammedans also, they allow killing, but circumstantially. So the principle of killing is forbidden every religion. So the principle of religion is one. Take, for example, in every religion, there is acceptance of God, and religion means to abide by the order of God. So how there can be two religions? There cannot be two religions. I believe like that, we believe like that. These are man-made. But actual religion is that God is one, and religion means the orders, the law given by God. That's all. Simple definition. Just like state is one, government is one. And to become good citizen means to abide by the laws of the government. That's all. One who is abiding by the laws of God, he's perfect religionist. It doesn't matter whether he's Hindu, he's a Muslim or a Christian. Whether he's got proper sense, what is meant by God, and what is the order of God, then he's religionist, perfect religionist. Yes, I understand. I think most of what you've said, I will definitely come to some of your morning lectures, and I believe I must read one of these books too. Prabhupada, yes, you can read. Yes, to know a bit more. So next time I come, I see, I shall be smiling a bit more. Prabhupada, all right. So in this way, Śrīla Prabhupada explains the wonderful message of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and the avatar of Lord Kalki. Very important point. There's so many. Just this morning, I made a very quick compilation of different mentions of Lord Kalki in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and other writings of Śrīla Prabhupada. Anybody who would like it, just send me an email at Yasoda1008@yahoo.com, yasoda1008 and I'll forward it to you. Hope everybody is well. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Janice Priya in Hawaii. I know you're up very early, and we want to thank you for attending these readings and discussions. Could you please share some of your realizations on these topics this morning for our wonderful group of Vaishnavas that are assembled in this Zoom meeting?
Hare Krishna, all glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda. Accept my humble obeisances. Yes, these are very important subjects that Yasoda-nandana described so nicely. I like it that he touches on all the points that I'm interested in always. Sometimes you attend classes and you go like, like I want to hear something interesting, something instructive, and these classes are, they're not full of speculation or made up stuff. These are like based in facts, scripture, and the scripture is being quoted. And when we do that, we're following parampara. And we know that if we follow parampara, then we're on the right track, because we're not going to make anything up. We're simply going to try to follow what is has a proven track. That yes, this is a bona fide process. These are Śrīla Prabhupada is a bona fide guru, the only guru, the most prominent link at this time and place. And his greatest contribution are his books. And these books, we should think of these books as our family inheritance. So if these books are our books, then how will we protect them? We'll put our life on the line if necessary to protect these books. Why? Because Prabhupada said, devotees might fail, temples might fail. I mean, there might be no temples at one point. It's possible. He said, but my books would not fail. So this is most important, because these books will be the law books for the next 10,000 years. And it is our duty to give it our best shot to make sure that these books remain in the original form that Śrīla Prabhupada delivered these books to us. And Prabhupada read that Bhagavad Gita, and thousands of people became devotees from the original Bhagavad Gita as it is. And even if we started with the purple Gita that we had, I still have mine, I think. It's funny, I read Penguin's classic Bhagavad Gita before Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita. And I came to a deep understanding that I am not this body. So I could do whatever the hell I want with my body, because it has nothing to do with me. So you could trust your body, do what. This is my realization from reading that Gita. But as soon as one comes in contact with the caliber of understanding and the mercy, the love that Śrīla Prabhupada had. Prabhupada was not only a scholar, he was a great, great devotee of the Lord, which is more important than being a scholar. So when you're a top-notch devotee of the Lord, and you're a scholar, and you have a sense of humor like Śrīla Prabhupada did, that's a hard package to find. So we're so fortunate beyond anybody's comprehension that we had a chance, and we still have this chance to associate with this pure devotee of the Lord. Śrīla Prabhupada is very much present right now, right this second. You open one of Prabhupada's books, or listen to one of his audios, and he'll pierce your heart. Why? Because that's what he does. That's his mission. Prabhupada didn't came to tell us, oh, you such nice followers, and tell us, most of these bogi, yogi, even people that we know, they simply give these nice, sweet little talks so people think, oh, he's so nice, and I'm so nice, and we're all so nice. But this has no value. Prabhupada came on the other end, like Kali with one weapon in each hand, smashing everything, smashing Maya bodies, smashing people who do not follow his instructions, smashing any kind of scientist speculator. Prabhupada loved to get in a wrangle with these mental speculators because he knew he could put him down. Why? Because he simply repeated what he heard from his guru. And Bhaktisiddhanta was so powerful that in India, there's a custom that if you two sadhus discuss whatever scripture, whoever wins the argument, the other one has to surrender to him. This is customary. So when they see Bhaktisiddhanta walking, they will cross to the other side of the street just so they don't have to even face him. The Shringa Guru. And Prabhupada, finally, amazing enough, Śrīla Prabhupada had that saying, Prabhupada could be as soft as a rose with the ladies and the kids, and as tough as a thunderbolt with the rascal devotees that we needed chastisement, Prabhupada will give it. And it was called Prabhupada's mercy. So if you got Prabhupada's mercy, you were very, very fortunate. There was one devotee in LA that Śrīla Prabhupada, whenever, and the old LA temple, Prabhupada come out of this devotee door on the side, on the back of the temple, and this devotee used to stick his head so far into the aisle that Prabhupada couldn't walk around him without touching his head or pushing him back. And Prabhupada finally he got tired. Not in that particular situation, but with this devotee, because he was always trying to get Prabhupada's feet on his head. And Prabhupada kicked him in the head. So that was his goal. He achieved his goal. That to me, that's the greatest gift, that if Prabhupada kick you in the head, then that's such a great benediction. So we're so fortunate that we have sincere followers of Śrīla Prabhupada. They're here to propagate the God of Krishna and the Prabhupada and the glories of the Parampara and the whole Vedic system. That is what we're trying to follow, is what Prabhupada gave us. We don't need to invent nothing. It's all there, every and beyond. Everything that we don't even imagine, Prabhupada, it's so amazing that he put it all there for the next 10,000 years. So I'm going to shut up here. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. Quite profound and very informative for all of our members here at the Prabhupada Disciples Association, and weekly meetings. And we encourage you to attend the 3 meetings a week. And next week we have a special program, which is the Wednesday night Chaitanya Charitamrita program. And then on Thursday, Janmashtami, I believe that's the 7th, isn't it, Vinkat Bhatta? Thursday?
Yes.
Do you have the poster by chance of the Thursday event that you could display on the screen? And it's our hope that we'll also broadcast the program from Sacramento so that you can participate in that event with us. Or if you're having your own event, by all means, or you can invite people over. Here we have it. And we're quite excited because our your own Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu will be giving the presentations to the group that's assembling in Sacramento, and we'll be sharing that online. I believe that Vinkat Bhatta, we're planning to stream it.
Yeah, sure, we can do that, yes.
Excellent. And then we also have another program on the 8th of, and here it is, our Vyasa Puja Festival. This is part of the Prabhupada Disciples. You can see we've sponsored the event that's being put on by Bhaktivedanta Singh with special guest Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu. So such a great event for you to all share with your family and friends and other people that are interested in spiritual life. And finally, we have the Vyas Puja offering, if you want to show that for us. Yeah. This is another program that we have developed, the Vyas Puja book. And we're going to be publishing this book with all of the wonderful articles at the beginning, edited by our esteemed Yaśodā-nandana Prabhu, and being produced by Vinkat Bhatta Prabhu, our genius production manager and coordinator for the internet. We want to thank all of you for participating in this amazing opportunity to get this transcendental. We're taking the technology that's being used nowadays for so much Maya, and we're dovetailing it in the service of Krishna, and it's creating a new era of opportunity for everyone to become Krishna conscious through this vehicle. This is one of the new forms of preaching that we're taking to heart, and it's going to be able to spread to every town and village in the world, because everybody has a phone and they're addicted to it. We just want them to use the phone in the service of Krishna. So thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna. We're going to listen to the kirtan led by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupāda to end this session. And we look forward to seeing you this week on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. All glories, and Saturday. All glories to Śrīla Prabhupāda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare.
Vanchakalpa tarobhyascha kripa sindubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo